Hello everyone. Today we are discussing And Just Like That season 3 and some of the previous moments from this TV show. And particularly we are going to focus on the couple that was basically drawing so much attention of mine because I used to watch TV shows for characters that I can really empathize with, and I found those figures. And this is the first character I want to introduce you. If you didn't know, Che is a non-binary queer stand-up comedian who co-hosts a podcast with Caroline. And Caroline basically is representing cisgender women on this podcast. So they like writing jokes separately, and they do talking on this podcast together. And Caroline is basically working on Che. Che is her boss, and she is so experienced in this comedy genre, and she gives a lot of advices for Caroline to stick to better writing and to find the best way to write good jokes, because she's really good at it. And when some tragedy happened to Caroline character, her husband died by heart attack. She found herself struggling with her life, and her friends Miranda, Che, and other friends, they come and support her. So this is basically the introduction, the proper appearance of Miranda character in this TV show. But she wasn't really appearing first time, because this character specifically was first introduced in column in newspaper, and that was called Sex and the City. And after that column was adapted into HBO television, but it wasn't And Just Like That series, which we are discussing right now. It was the other TV show, but this TV show is basically, it's like continuation, and in their 50s they're trying to navigate relationship. And that first TV show was when they were 30s, and after that 2 movies came out, and they were still playing those characters in those movies. So these characters is pretty much established already, and they do not really need any introduction. But for those who watch first time, probably you need a little bit information. So if we trying to give some most common things about who Miranda is, she enrolls in a master's degree program in human rights at Columbia University, motivated by her involvement in the Black Lives Matter movement. And basically she is so career-focused person, and her husband is as well an established character, as well as her son, and this is her son. And if we're talking about this TV show particularly, they attending the funeral of Caroline's husband, and at this funeral happened that her son was caught by Miranda smoking, and this is like the first time they met with Che Diaz, and they got into this fight over Che giving her son, Miranda's son, smoke. And first they were like hating or just not getting along at all. And this conversation was like super intense, but shortly after, Miranda found out that Che is actually Miranda's friend's boss. And at this point, this is gonna be like something they want to have like solved, and this situation is gonna be resolved because of their mutual friend, because Caroline is playing such a vital role in this TV show, but today she's not up to point because we're only discussing this particular relationship and Miranda's development as character. And Che's sense of humor is basically what made Miranda immediately like not fall in love, but feel like super comfortable. And this company is something she is looking for throughout the season. She attending Che's comedy special called Check the Box, and this comedy special, Che is giving such high level of comedy. I really do love when I watch something like this, and I think this is just perfect representation of what non-binary queer people are. And her character specifically is so focusing on how on the media non-binary queer characters, queer people overall, introduced so inaccurate, like they do not act, they do not do something like we used to see like on TV, and they like represented as people from another planet, so exaggerated. And this is actually good points from Che character and how she how she bringing her identity into her stand-up comedies. It's so actually perfect and neat. And I would watch this something like in real life, and I would definitely go for her stand-up if she was like a real person, And this performance impressed Miranda, of course, and she went after the special to appreciate Che's performance and to get to know her like in person. And after their first like meeting, let's say they ran into each other by accident, but this time like they definitely like trying to like get closer. And first person who made this step was Che. She suggested like that they could be involved in something bigger, and she actually just told Miranda that you just need to slow down, relax, because Miranda is so under this impression, and she's just not used to people like Che. Che is so confident. She's so calm and so well thought out person. She's actually writing those jokes, and basically this is just helping her in probably her relationships, because he's just getting this lead of every situation so perfectly. And when she offered to shotgun Miranda, not like this shotgun, but to blow out smoke from mouth to mouth, this called shotgun. And that was something Miranda was so not expecting from this situation. And basically she was astonished by how close she gets to this woman and to women in general, because she was never with a woman that close before. And after this situation at comedy, they went to hospital again to support Caroline. Caroline in this TV show is the person who is some kind of the link to every episode. She's the center. At the same time, she's not the only main character, and she's gathering all her friends. I don't remember all the names, but she's gathering all the the main characters together. And every time something happens to Caroline, everyone there, and this time something happened to her hip, and she got surgery on her hip. And they sitting discussing again relationship and something in this hospital. And this is not first, but another time they got together to to get to know more about each other. And she's talking about her previous version, that Cheryl, she was before Cheryl Diaz, and half Mexican, half Irish woman, completely differently leading her life. She wasn't queer, non-binary before, and she's talking about that version of hers, who was basically just holding everything inside and never actually living her life the way she should have. And Miranda is just as well feeling that trapped in her relationship with her husband, because they didn't have any intimacy for very quite long time. And this is not something, it's not a thing with Che, because she doesn't experience any problems with intimacy when it comes to women, but she does suffer from relationship when it turns out not to be what she expected. And when she came to support again Caroline after that surgery to Caroline's place, she brought this rum, and she ran into Miranda again, this time at Caroline's place, and they drank a lot of that rum, and they just came to the point when Miranda asked her to shotgun Miranda. And this shotgun thing is something you cannot just, do with your husband, because she knows that the thing she actually wants is not the shotgun, but she wants kiss. And the most probably close way you can get a kiss from someone is just try, to get as close as possible. And this shotgun thing is like something that already worked at Comedy Special, and since they did that, they can do this again, like easily, for real, like. And they did hook up right in the Caroline's kitchen, which woke up Caroline, and she saw all the shit happening, and she was basically astonished because she never thought that her best friend and her boss and co-host they could be together in her kitchen hooking up. This is something like really surprised her, and she did immediately lecture Miranda about how you just doing something so relentlessly, and she tried to come across with this relationship thing about you have husband, you have your marriage, and you just by accident having queer hooking up in my kitchen. Like, this is not something I expect from you when you come to support me after my surgery. And Che basically she did that so easily that wasn't really anything like new for her. That was like another hook up basically. But for Miranda it was like so like life changing, because she realized a lot of things after kissing Che, and they did more even than kiss. But she thought that she would not want this to stop, she would like this to continue. And Caroline is actually told that this is the problem is your drinking addiction or something, because you should be looking into drinking in the first place, and none shit like this would happen if you stop drinking that much. But she actually not willing to accept drinking problem, and throughout the season we see that she's getting even a book with a way to quit drinking as a woman. I don't know what that means, but it's some kind of guidance for you to quit drinking and to stop doing that. So this is like your problem, but at the same time it doesn't seem really like something she would worry about, because we didn't see a single moment when it's really influenced her decision, apart from that hooking in kitchen, but she was under affection already. She was so impressed by Che character, and who would not be impressed? And I mean, like, Che character is so charismatic, she's so confident, and this is so like making people to to do what they basically like, or to imagine what they basically not used to, And even Miranda's friend told that she is like secretly fantasizing about Che. And after that comedy, like, she is also impressed by Che, but she didn't really support Miranda hooking up with Che. And I think this is something they used to share, like this all personal and all the relationships they used to talk about openly. And this is something like shocking for her friends, but that was mostly shocking for another friend. For Carolina, it was like not that big of a problem because she just lost her husband, and some stuff happening in her kitchen with two women just woke her up, and this is not that big of a problem for her because the huge problem is just behind, And this midlife crisis, as her friend suggested, is how she is actually trying to navigate her life, to work directly on the problem of her midlife crisis. And this problem is, of course, somehow related to her husband, because this is the person he is married to, and he's not in any way looking like as confident, as attractive as Che character, as that stand-up comic who is so really confident and good looking. I mean, like, she tried something with her husband similar to their activity with Che again, and this time it didn't really work because when your husband used to treat you like particular way, when you just 30 years or something together, when you already like gone through a lot of shit, nothing is gonna be as passionate as like really enjoying as it used to be when you were so young, when you were 20, when you were 30. And this is something I really like about this TV show. This is telling you how to live in the moment and how to not try to be like like sticking to your past, and to be more flexible in your relationship, and to be stepping out of your comfort zone finally, because that step was a huge step out of Miranda's comfort zone, of course. And after that, another event with Che's comedy career for Netflix or something. They used to be like, so good. All her performances, all her jokes used to be so on point. And she's so like dedicated to writing jokes, and that makes sense. That makes perfect sense because they just perfect, and I really just found them funny. And not all of them, but this is something I really like, when TV show is not trying something that, like, I don't know, when TV show put a lot of jokes like that are not funny, you just you can put up with it, but when all the jokes are good, it's like 50% plus to the like final success of the TV show. It's like, bonus. It's like something extra, and you would really like it, and they went into like this hall, and after comedy, Miranda pointed out that Che is so busy with her career, and this is of course a problem for Miranda because she's trying to be like, like trying to be like as useful as Che is and productive, but she's working in completely different like area, and she's not like used to be on public or something like Che is. And Che just tried to tell Miranda that you can actually directly ask me without trying to wait for something. Just be more like active in this relationship. You have to be making first step, or it's gonna not work, and of course the only thing Miranda is just imagined in her head was the way that they can be like together, and they can be like girlfriend or boyfriend. And since she doesn't really want, or she doesn't really know how this relationship with non-binary person works, she doesn't really know all the like proper representation, or how queer people representing themselves. And she imagined this life like normal people used to live, like girlfriend and boyfriend, or like dating each other or something. But this is not something Che wants from this relationship, because she's basically trying to explain Miranda that you are in an open marriage right now, because you come back and forth, you just coming back to your husband, and then you come back to me, and then we get something intimate. And this is what open marriage does, basically. And if you wasn't available, if you was not in open marriage, why we even like hooked up in the first place? Because this is not something I want to. And she just performed on the stage in front of all the community, like all the people who is not hiding, all the people, all the community just watching her, talking about how to not hide anymore, how to be not closeted, and how to come out as a queer. And she just sees that at that point, her loved one just doing this hiding and trying to escape. But that was actually because Miranda's children, particularly her son with his girlfriend, was attending that party. For some reason they were attending that performance, even though it's obviously that they are together as straight couple. They for some reason there, and she just tried to not to be noticed by them, by her son. But this is something that triggers person like Che, because she just passed it, and this is not something she wants to be in her current life, because she's living basically so openly, and she is not gonna be home wrecker, and basically home wrecker, as I understand, it's someone who is just ruining the marriage of others, who is hooking up with a person who is married, and this way you just ruining that marriage, because that marriage basically not open marriage, and basically you just the cause of that marriage be ruined, and you just doing that consciously. So she's not that person, she's not gonna be that home wrecker. And the circumstances for Che is more like drastic, is more like influencing your life than it seems for Miranda, because Miranda thinks that if she jumps into this relationship immediately, if she gets this relationship like working officially as girlfriend and boyfriend, girlfriend and girlfriend, wherever, she thinks that this is gonna be like suitable for both of them. But Che is actually not just that person. She is not looking for labels anymore. She's not gonna be girlfriend, she's not gonna be boyfriend, because non-binary person is not looking for any way she can be labeled, and she wants just free but mutual relationship that is gonna be like something when you can gradually get to know your loved one without like jumping into something immediately, And since Che is so like recognizable, she's so famous comedian, she's getting a lot of attention that seems to be not bothering Miranda, but at some point it's just working as like Miranda is trying to be initiative, and she's doing some stuff like she's just coming over to Che's place unannounced, and Che works on her comedy stand-ups, and this initiative from Miranda is not something like Che used to like see, because she used to see more like planned life, planned relationship, and she used to get partners who is actually just like adequately acting, not without like passion, but doing something and thinking before you're doing something. But Miranda seems to be so under that affection, and she seems to be so spontaneous with this new type of relationship, because this relationship for her seems like working the same way that straight relationship works. Just girlfriend and boyfriend, girlfriend and girlfriend, just dating each other. But Che is trying to explain that non-binary person is not just doing that the way you do. Non-binary is not just dating. It's not just boyfriend and girlfriend or something. Those labels not working for non-binary person, and it just limits relationship overall. So this point was the perfect way to explain Miranda how it works finally, because she probably didn't manage to get that information herself, or just it's not even possible for you when you used to live your life so differently from that person you just fell in love with, and when you used to live completely different lifestyle, it's not even about information or just terms non-binary people use, or just representation. It's about your mentality. You're not used to it, and you cannot just immediately turn into that completely different person, right? So you need way more time, and it's not even working with only with queer non-binary. It's working with pretty much everything in your life. You need more time, and this is pretty normal. And this is why Che is not just pushing back Miranda, because she understands that it needs more time to settle down a little bit, and her impression on Miranda needs time to just calm down and be rational person, not that not that Miranda she is now. And another event, they came together, that was another comedy stand-up show, and Miranda was introduced to Che's grandmothers. There are two of them, and they sitting with Miranda to watch the comedy. That was just first introduction to Che's family for Miranda, but that wasn't something she expected. She expected probably full family format meeting, with all the members from brothers, sisters to mother, father, and so on. But seeing grandmothers, it's not something you expect from your loved one. And basically this is just a lack of communication, because you could have just got to know this before who is gonna be meeting. And after that, Che is saying that she is going to go to LA for her comedy, for her TV career, because she's gonna be some kind of actress, and she's gonna do some pilot for TV, and she wants Miranda go with her to LA. And Miranda is immediately trying to take this opportunity, because this new place could be something really change her life forever, and her friends, and particularly Caroline, supported whatever choice she makes, they support that choice. So basically nobody actually prevented nothing. And shortly after, in season 2, we see them together in LA, and basically Che is the only person who is like so busy with this new life in LA, because she got her career just pushed, and she's getting new job, and this TV pilot, she's getting ready for shooting this, but it's only like for her career and to feel fulfilled. She's getting all she needs, but for Miranda to feel fulfilled, the only thing she needs actually is to be together in LA as a couple. And she was so like confused when Che pushed her back after that TV pilot or another comedy stand-up. And that was kind of surprising, because she never like thought that they are at this stage of relationship when you can be like pushed back like this. But actually the reason of that was because Che is facing her trauma, her past trauma, and that caused because she was told that the clothes she was wearing at fitting for TV pilot was not like sitting proper on her, and she needs to like, you know, do something for her figure to get into shape, you know. And this thing, like, she already like passed, she already like, you know, she's not that person anymore to get triggered by something like this. But this thing is just haunting her, and she's got so emotional because of that body like moment. And she is on the diet and she's trying to get into shape, but the like TV and all that stuff in LA is just putting so much pressure on her. And some type of like actor, probably famous, again fictional, Tony Danza, is going to be in Che's project, and he's gonna to play her father. And they got into fight over like her father being Mexican, and Che's character is basically half Mexican, half Irish, and they just, you know, arguing over like origins of her father. That person just, he doesn't want to play her father with Mexican Irish origins, and something went wrong from the very beginning. And this TV pilot is not just gonna be like doing well, you know, because all that relationship just worked perfectly when they just, you know, used to used to be together uh, in another place, and in LA it seems to be more like forced, because they moved together to LA and they seem pretty forcing this relationship. And everything's so like focused on her career and how she's trying to rehearse her character before this TV pilot, and she's still like going through all those stereotypes about non-binary person and how her character is just made as that stereotype she doesn't want to be, and this triggering her. And this is that TV pilot. Basically, they tried to shoot it, but Miranda interrupted with her phone, and basically she spoiled all the moment and she ruined the shooting because they couldn't just reshoot it because like Che is not an actress and they got it right first time, but it got ruined by Miranda, so they so furious over this situation. And all this situation with this TV pilot just went wrong, and Miranda is feeling so all the blame on her because of her impact, and basically her presence in LA something that feels more uncomfortable and more pressure on Che, and something that not helping in any way, And so Miranda basically is feeling like she needs to leave LA, but they actually did that together, and Miranda multiple times left Che to come back to her city, but they reunited when Che actually left LA for Hudson, and she went to Hudson because of her work again, and this time her husband, actually Che's husband, helped her to move all the things to Hudson, and Miranda found out that Che and her husband, they still married, and she was surprised that Che had husband in the first place, but she was even more shocked that the marriage is not ended yet. But Che pretty much explained how they didn't end the marriage and the reason why they didn't, and that wasn't a problem anymore. But Miranda's husband was a problem for Che when they were together. At the very beginning, she was so pissed off because of Miranda wasn't in an open marriage, and that she was cheating on her husband basically. But she's kind of, they are kind of even, because now she's doing the same. she's not telling Miranda that she still married to her husband, but they already hooked up multiple times, so they are even. This is like the situation, similar to Miranda's. But it becomes even more similar when they found each other in the same bed after Che's husband fell asleep. They just, especially Miranda, she was shocked that Che and her husband still trying to hook up even though they are officially not together. They are not divorced, but they are not like a couple anymore. But for Che, it seems to be a normal thing to hook up with your ex-husband because now you can just, involve even third party. And this is Miranda, but Miranda is not ready for this like trio because she just got out of her marriage, and she's just using to this lesbian relationship, but she's getting into this throuple, and this is not something you expect from your girlfriend because now you think that you are in a lesbian relationship, but there is another person that is like a part of life, and you need really some distance from this, because this is just too much for you. And this moment was pretty funny, but after that something went wrong with the relationship especially with Che's depression, because at this point her career, all her comedy, stand-up, basically is not there anymore because she is not doing clubs, she's not going to perform at clubs anymore, and the only way she can make money is actually to write jokes and to perform writing her in her Instagram. She's doing online stand-ups and she's trying to get money this way, and she's just not having a lot of from this comedy from online format because all her income was basically from clubs and stand-up live performances, but now she is in need for paying out this apartment. And this is so pressuring her because now she is in some kind of depression because of her stand-up is only on phone. There is no anymore that performances on public, and you need feel that, otherwise you will depressing, and this is not something you can even explain when you used to lead that type of life, and when you used to perform, when you used to be on public and accepted, and your sense of humor is your main weapon, but you cannot use that properly. You cannot use your full capacity, because you're just restrained by the place you live in, or just you in some kind of depression. So, and they are going to break up because of this situation with Jay, and all her life in LA went completely downhill, basically. And after they broke up, Miranda was kind of ghosting Jay because now she actually wants something new. And since she is already not with her husband, she's willing to do whatever she wants, basically. And she's trying to get to know the other person, who is basically like some kind of writer, but she does audio books. She is basically just similar to what Che was doing when she was on that podcast. But this time they like really have something in common, and they discussing a lot of like stuff from books. They do know similar authors, and they know some moments from same books, so there is already an opportunity for new relationship for Miranda. And this new woman is actually just complete opposite, basically, but like still attractive for Miranda. But this is not Che type of person. And Miranda was probably expecting something like different, but it turns out that she is living in complete mess. Like all her apartment is just, designed for, like home studio, and she's just recording all the stuff at her apartment, and it's in complete mess. So they didn't really get any like proper development, and shortly after they just left each other. At that point, after kissing, Miranda was just left alone at this apartment, but she didn't really give it a proper chance, and she decided that this relationship is not going to work anyway. So she quit that relationship immediately, and she realized that when she was straight, basically, she probably would stay and wait for that lady come back. But now she is like 56-year-old lesbian who doesn't want to wait for nobody, and she is not that person anymore. She is just, thank you, next. This is how it works now for her. Is not with this person, it's gonna be with someone else. And Che's life changed completely. Now she's working at some kind of not pet shop, but it's some kind of clinic or something. And they're trying to actually just, they trying to living their new lives, and Chase trying to get money for paying all her debts, paying all her bills, and this is her way to do so. And she's getting introduced to this woman who is basically obviously non-binary or queer, just giving the way she looks. And she immediately just, tried to flirt, but she realized that she needs her comedy career back, because this way she can impress that person she just met, or this way she can just, impress anybody. And she is already making enough money at her job, but she needs that stand-up just because she wants to be that person who is making impression on others. And basically this is the perfect way she can just date or meet other non-binary queer people, and being basically in the most advantageous position, because when you are on the stage, when you're performing, all the focus on you and all the people watching you. So you just doesn't even need a representation or something, because everybody knows her. She's pretty well-known person, but she needs to be on that stage to be that person, not in some kind of pet shop, or whatever. Just she needs to be the person she used to be. And the comedy career, stand-up, is what makes her to be that person. What makes her that Che. And she was even re-watching all her stuff when she was not non-binary, but she was Cheryl Diaz, and she was doing the comedy even at that point, but that was completely different jokes, and all the jokes were basically about a relationship with men, and she's not, thinking that way anymore. She's completely changed her mind about what relationship is now. And after rewatching that comedy, she realized that she can use something from her previous relationship. She can use her relationship with Miranda for stand-up, and she can resume her comedy career with this relationship jokes, and particularly the relationship with Miranda is going to be in the center of this stand-up this time. And this is not something, of course, Miranda is going to be liking, because all the jokes just about Miranda's discovering her sexuality, and how she was so, undecisive about who she was. And she even mentioned that specifically that relationship, when she was dating a woman with her husband and her son, and she was dating a married person. So this is definitely was about her. This is not something you can just, misunderstand. And she, of course, took that so personal, because that was basically about her life. And listen to this, and, realizing that someone just using you as stand-up material. So this is not something you want, and all the jokes was basically focusing on how she was just, discovering all that queer relationship, and not all of them was pretty like funny, but some of them was pretty on point because she told basically everything. No lies told. She told just how it was really, but that information just so personal. And of course, that triggered so much Miranda, and she went off pissed. And after that, Che basically just she got to know someone else at that comedy stand-up, as well as Miranda. But they ran into each other, and the other situation when they met, when Che was trying to apologize for making jokes of Miranda and her exploration of identity and her trying to discover her sexuality and her, you know, her role in relationship. So after this, they probably kind of made up, but no matter what happened, they already not working. They are not working, and this time just for something new again, because Che is moved on, she's hooking up with another person, and they seem like so like matching, because this is just a perfect match for probably non-binary person. When you see these two women, you just, you know, amazed by how matching they are, like not only visually but the vibe they are giving and all the like vision of what queer person should look like is exactly, you know, this couple. But it didn't give any like proper development to the rest of the show. It only gave some kind of like moment, one night stand or something. It didn't ever turn out to be something important for anybody. And as well as Miranda's life didn't really get any like serious relationship after this. And in season 3, which is new season and it's currently airing, you can see like how Miranda character is still trying to navigate this relationship. She's not getting any like serious relationship anytime soon, because she's still discovering everything and a lot of things she needs to find out about how lesbian relationship works. But perfectly depicted moment was when she went to this lesbian club and she ran into tourist, and that tourist basically was like watching for someone to possibly hook up with, and they went to hotel room to hook up. And after they woke up, Miranda found out that she was basically sleeping with a nun. So a nun, basically someone who used to live or go to monastery, as well as a like as far as I know. And this person is like completely like different and not someone, you just used to see at gay club or something like this. And that was shocking for Miranda because she ran into just even worse place from previous relationship. She went to even something even more mess, so there is nothing like really changed, and it's even going like to completely like wrong direction. So she's not going to be like with someone anytime soon. And what I like about season 3 is that is how they not trying to be focusing so much on like particular relationship, especially for Miranda. This time Che is not anymore in this season. It looks like she's not participating in season 3 because we've got 2 episodes and there is no sign of Che, and it seems like Miranda is gonna be someone single but hooking up with different persons every season, every episode of this season 3. She's gonna be with someone else, like she's gonna be with that nun, and after this, after the that quick encountering, she was discussing some type of reality show with her friends, and the waitress, she actually just overheard that reality show she is watching as well, and she just tried to just tell something about that thing they have in common. So now what they do with this season, they trying to use this type of nothing serious, but every episode something like something new for Miranda. So there is no Che, there is no proper development for the relationship. Like for Miranda, it seems more like spontaneous right now. She's getting like random woman, waitress, nun, and then she's getting this British friend she knows because of her work. And it could be the only person who's gonna be somehow standing any like is gonna be not one night stand, but something it's gonna be longer than just a fling, it's gonna be just something really, probably, I don't know, but we will see in next episode. But this is all I want to discuss about this TV show, because we have a lot of other stuff coming, and this TV show is gonna get more episodes every week. We will be talking about this more, but a lot of reality shows and other stuff coming as well, so we have some more stuff. And just like that, And just like that, I want to end this stream because there is pretty much everything we discussed, and that was season 1, season 2, and current season 3 of And Just Like That TV show. Thank you.